Shalom, everybody. Welcome to the Parsha Shiur. This week's Torah portion is Beshalach. Beshalach is one of the most popular portions in the Torah. It has in it the famous Shira, Az Yashir Moshe, the Shira we say every morning in the prayers. And also the Parsha tells us of the miracle of the splitting of the Yam Suf. It has in it the story of the manna, the man in the desert. God miraculously provided bread from heaven, lechem min hashamayim, and it ends with the war of Amalek, the cruel, sadistic people who attacked the people of Israel when they left Egypt. Today, I want to focus on two aspects in this Torah portion. Number one is the mindset of the Jewish people just prior to the splitting of the sea. And number two, the Yartzeit, the day of the passing of the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson, also called Harayatz, that was in Yud Shvat last Shabbos, marking when the Rebbe, our Rebbe, took the leadership of Chabad after the previous Rebbe passed away a year before the Yud Shvat 1950. So let's begin with the fact that the Jewish people were in Mitzrayim, were in Egypt for 210 years. It's a lot of years. For more than 100 years, they were oppressed. It says that Paro forgot Yosef, forgot his contribution to Egypt, and was totally obsessed with the Jewish problem. Enslaved the Jewish people and murdered their children. And finally, after the 10 plagues, the 10 makot, Paro agreed to send the Jewish people. And this is how our Parsha begins. Vayehi Beshalach Paro et ha'am. When Paro sent the people away. And suddenly, he realized the big mistake he made. He realized that the Jews are not coming back. So he sent a very sophisticated army to get them back. He took 600 of his chosen soldiers, his best soldiers, his fanciest chariots, and he sent them after the Jewish people. And everyone else followed the army, pursuing the Jewish people. And everyone else followed the army so they could enslave them again. So I would like to quote a famous midrash which the Rebbe talked about, and often when discussing this parsha, because it speaks of the mindset of the Jewish people throughout the ages. The Rebbe talked about the fact that the Midrash tells us, imagine what the Jewish people is going through after so many years that they have finally broken free. They are not slaves anymore. They have escaped from Egypt And 7 days later, they are being pursued by a big super army, and they found themselves surrounded. In front of them, they had the sea, the Yam Suf, and the Egyptian army behind them. Big trouble. And there is no way to go. The Midrash says that the Jewish people were divided into 4 groups. Jews are always divided to many groups. 4 parties, 4 philosophies, addressing the question, what are we going to do? The sea is in front of us, and the Egyptian army is behind us. So the first group says, let us plunge into the sea and commit suicide. Lipol el hayam. Masada style. At least we will die in our own hands. We'll die as free people. At least we'll have some dignity. The second group said, no, this is not nice. Let's surrender. Let's hold a big white flag and surrender. And we'll go back to Egypt. Not so bad. Being a slave is better than dying. The third group said, no, let's do the ghetto style, meaning let's fight the Egyptians. We have nothing to lose. Let's fight to the last drop of blood. At least we'll have some self-respect. The fourth group said, you know what? Maybe we should do LSD. Let's start davening. Maybe this will help us. Pray to God. Show him that we are in trouble. So we see that all groups had a valid point. They thought logically about the situation and have their own conclusions. A very interesting thing happened. Moshe says to the people of Israel, don't be afraid. Stay firm. Al tira'u, tityatzvu. That's from the Torah, from the text. Ure'u et yeshuat Hashem. And you will see Hashem's salvation. And I continue the pasuk. It says, Ki ka'asher ra'item et Mitzrayim hayom. That he will do today. You see that what Egypt is today, you will never see again. Lo tosifu lirot ad olam. Egypt is behind you. Egypt is history. Why? Because Hashem yilachem lachem. God will fight for you. And you, all of you, you'll be quiet. Atem tacharishun. So what happened here? What's going to happen? The Midrash says that the psukim, the verses, are the answer to all groups, one by one. For the first group who said, let's plunge to the water, the Midrash says, Hityatzvu ure'u Yeshuat Hashem. Stay firm. Don't do anything. Do whatever you have to do. The second group who said, let's surrender, the Midrash says, no. Go forward. You will never see Egypt anymore. There will be no Egypt. to the third group who said, let's fight. Let's do the ghetto style. The Midrash says, Hashem will fight for you. Hashem yilachem lachem. And for the fourth group, who said, let's start davening, the LSD group, the Midrash said, you will be quiet. Atem tacharishun. Wow. So in this case, what should I do? The answer is none of the above. Like sometimes you have a test or a questionnaire. All the answers are wrong. A, B, C, D. Rather, E is the answer. None of them. The answer is tell the people of Israel to keep moving. Daber el bnei Israel ve'yisau. If we cannot jump into the sea, and we cannot surrender, and we cannot fight, and we cannot pray, what was supposed to do? What should we do? The answer is keep moving. Ve'yisau, meaning move forward to your goal. And your goal is receiving the Torah on Mount Sinai. The question is, how can we move forward? There is a sea in front of us. We cannot make it. Hashem is saying, keep your eyes on the target. God will have a solution for that. What is the difference between those who wanted to jump into the sea and moving forward into the target? One is dealing with the problem, the sea. The other is moving right to the target. And the Rebbe had talked about it. We always facing challenges in life. One after another, threats, challenges. The answer is keep moving. Go after your goal. Clearly define your goal. Your goal is Mount Sinai. Move forward. No matter what you have on your way, keep moving. But it's impossible. In the world of Hashem, everything is possible. Don't worry about the sea. Don't worry about the Egyptian army. Hashem will provide. And this is bring us to the story of the previous Rebbe, Yosef Yitzchak, the Rayatz, who was the Rebbe for 3 decades and was the Rebbe in the most difficult time in the history of the Jewish people. In the Holocaust, after the Holocaust, he arrived to the United States in 1940 in a wheelchair with the Holocaust behind him and escaping from Europe. The final statement he made was, I came to America to build Judaism and will do all I can to achieve it. Keep moving forward, he said. I will not go to sleep until I built an yeshiva. I did not come here to retire. And the lesson for us is, Daber el bnei Israel ve'isau. When we face any challenge in life, we have to keep moving forward. Don't be afraid. Al tirau. We have to have the emunah, the faith that everything is going to be good very soon. I want to wish everybody a great Shabbos. Parshat Beshalach. Don't forget the Kashka for this Shabbat. May all of us to be zoche to see Mashiach Tzidkenu bimhera b'yameinu bekarov mamash.